I'm not your average Joe. Far from it. My past is full of secrets and betrayals, of love and heartache. This is the story of my crazy life. But before I go on, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Hi, my name is Michael. You've probably seen the title of this video and are wondering why I have a new face for every day of the week. Well, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I am a spy. That's right, a spy. I work for the government and my job is to infiltrate enemy facilities and extract information. Now, most of you probably think being a spy is really cool. That's what the movies say. They paint my job out as some fun, exciting mission, but in reality, I hate being a spy. It's really not that fun. It's painful, and every day I fear for my life. First off, my kind of job is not full of fun gadgets like the ones in Mission Impossible. I don't have a car that can speak, I don't have a pen that turns into a gun. That kind of stuff just doesn't exist. Speaking of spies, don't you just hate it when you're online and you're constantly being tracked and monitored? Don't you wish you could just surf the web without having to be spied on? Well, luckily for you, there is a company out there that can solve all your internet spying problems. Surfshark VPN is a proud sponsor of today's video, and seriously guys, they are awesome. Surfshark allows you to surf the web without having to worry about getting tracked or spied on. It turns you into an anonymous user and gives you a ton of benefits. For starters, it gets rid of the problems of streaming from a banned country, and it also gets rid of those sneaky targeted ads. Surfshark also protects you from all those data thieves that are lurking across the internet. Seriously guys, you have to get Surfshark VPN. With just a click of a button, you will become a protected user online. I use it every day, and it starts up automatically on my computer. It's so easy. What are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and use the code STORYTIMEANIMATED for 83% off the original price, plus 3 extra months for free. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's literally no risk in trying it out for yourself. Thanks, Surfshark. Okay, now back to the story. As a spy, my job is to manipulate and deceive people. Which is exactly why I have a new face for every day of the week. Like right now, this face right here, not my real face. I'm wearing a mask. And don't bother writing in the comments saying you want a face reveal. It's not gonna happen. You see, if I do, I could put my entire life at risk. This face mask helps keep me safe. I'm not a spy all the time. I go to the store, I pay taxes, I live in an apartment just like everyone else. The difference with me is that I have a life-threatening job. And if my enemies saw my real face when out on a mission, well, my normal life would be ruined. But I've gone on a ramble. You may be wondering how I got to this point. How did I become a spy? How do I change my identity every day? Well, I need to start at the beginning, to where it all began. I was 19 years old. I had graduated high school and was pretty much at a loss as to what to do with my life. I wasn't really good enough at academics to go to college or university, and I wasn't talented enough to compete in sports professionally. I wasn't that creative. I wasn't that innovative. It seemed there was nothing I could do. I hate to admit this, but I felt like the only thing left to do was to turn to crime. I know, that was a terrible idea, and I have no excuses for my stupidity. But I won't lie, that's what I did. At first it was small, just stealing from local stores. I searched online all the tips and tricks to stealing, and honestly, I got really good at it. I was really swift with my hands, and I was never caught. Gradually, I started doing bigger and worse jobs. Once, I stole a diamond necklace from this jewelry store. Another time, I broke into a celebrity's house and snapped a few pictures to sell to some magazine. I was making a ton of money, but I wasn't happy. I didn't enjoy breaking the law. I just felt like it was the only way to survive. I trained a lot too, and by the time I was 25, I was an expert criminal who was very talented. Some people hired me to spy on their enemies, and others hired me to steal for them. I was racking up quite the reputation. But alas, it all came to an end, and that's when my life was turned upside down. It was a huge job. I was supposed to rob an ancient crown that was worth $100 million from this high-end facility. This wasn't your average job. This had a security level that I had never matched before. I was doing this for some clients, but I had no idea why or who they were. I never asked, I just did the job. I managed to break in using some stealthy gear and by momentarily turning their security system off. I even managed to get into the room where the crown was held, and I was just about to smash the glass encasing it when alarms went off. I was caught. Before long, guards ran into the room and I was surrounded on all sides. There was no hope. The game was up. They took me to a separate room where they started interrogating me, but I didn't say anything. I knew my rights. Then the lights went out. At first I thought it was just a blackout, but then I heard shouting and a loud bang. It sounded like an explosion. I banged on the door of my room to ask them what was going on, when suddenly the door opened before me. I looked out and this serious-looking man in a black suit with black sunglasses stared at me. "Come with me," he said. "Who are you?" I asked in confusion. "Here to help you get out of here," he said. I decided to trust him and I followed him out. He took me to a room behind the back where there was a secret trapdoor. We climbed out and then I could see light ahead of me. Once we crawled through, I realized we were back outside. There was a black van waiting next to me. "Get in," the man said. I was scared now. I didn't know these people. If anything, they could be even worse than the police. I started to turn to try and escape, but the guy grabbed my hand and threw me into the van. The door shut and locked. I was trapped. I was so terrified. What were these people going to do to me? I tried to ask them what was happening, but they remained silent. After what seemed like hours of driving, they finally stopped at some abandoned warehouse. They dragged me out of the van, and before I knew it, I was standing in front of an important-looking woman who was wearing a similar black suit. "Who are you?" I demanded. "That's none of your business," she replied, "but my clients are very interested in you. We've been following you for quite some time and have seen that you have a lot of potential. Aren't you tired of doing all this dirty criminal work? Wouldn't you rather work for your country and serve your people?" I was so shocked. "What are you talking about?" "We want to hire you as a spy. You must perform missions for us, and in return, we guarantee you a high pay with retirement at the age of 40. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Of course, you must undergo more training, but pretty soon I can imagine you will be one of our best spies out there." I couldn't believe this. A spy? They wanted me to be a spy? That was crazy, insane. But then I thought again and I realized that this could actually be quite fun. Instead of devoting my skills to crime, I could help my country. I decided it was worth a shot, so I told her I accepted her offer. Biggest mistake of my life. After that, I was immediately thrown into training, where I had to work tirelessly for hours on end, honing my spying skills. I was given a bunch of tests and practice missions, and after a year of training, I was finally ready to get out in the field. Now, you may be wondering about my social life while all this happened. Well, I've sort of gone missing from my parents a while ago. You see, they were both quite careless parents and never paid much attention to me, so when I disappeared back when I was 19, they didn't really care that much. As for my friends, well, I didn't really have any. My previous life of crime didn't exactly help me out with making friends, and you could forget about having a girlfriend. So really, I was a loser. For my first mission, my employers asked me to spy on a political figure, whom I won't name at this moment, but who is definitely a famous person. I was supposed to spy on him for 24 hours without getting caught, and was supposed to report back with all the info I had collected. I followed him around, making sure to keep my distance so he didn't notice me. I even managed to sneak into his house, and I stayed in his closet in his bedroom while he slept. I went all in, and my superiors were very happy with me once I completed my mission. After that, the missions got more and more dangerous. Like one time, I was on a remote island and had to escape from some people who were shooting at me, and I had to jump off a cliff and onto a flying helicopter. Crazy, I know. At first, I was fine with the missions. Sure, it was dangerous, and sure, it was crazy, but it paid well, and it was better to me than trying to commit a crime. But then came the last mission. The mission that changed me forever. It was supposed to be a normal spying mission. I disguised myself as a house servant at this celebrity's place, but that's when I met a woman there. Her name was Sarah, and she was another housemaid, and she was probably the most beautiful and kind person I had ever met. Let me tell you, she was a 1 in a million. While I spied, I found myself getting closer and closer to her, and when I had been working there for about a year, that's when we kissed. I knew this was wrong. I wasn't supposed to be falling in love while on a mission, but I couldn't help it. I loved Sarah. But then my employers sent me a new order. They sent it to my phone via a secret app, and this is what it said. New order, kill Sarah. I couldn't believe it. What did Sarah have to do with it? What had she done wrong? I tried to question the order, and I tried to ask them why this had to be done, but they didn't give an answer. All they said was, follow your orders. I knew I had to kill Sarah, but my heart wouldn't let me. I was in love, and that was when I decided enough was enough. I was done with this life. They could keep my money. They could keep my retirement plans. I wanted Sarah. I started to plan out an escape plan for Sarah and I, but suddenly, while I was sweeping the garden at the house, 2 men in suits appeared and took me away. They told me I had disobeyed and I had to be taken care of. I knew what that meant, so I fought them off and managed to escape. I now live a life of chaos. I don't know where Sarah is. I'm on the run from the government that hired me as a spy, and now I have to wear a new face every day of the week. For example, on Monday, I've got the nerdy-looking face mask on. On Fridays, I wear a woman's face with freckles. On Sundays, it's a fat man's chubby face. This is the only way for me to survive as of now. I don't know if they'll find me, but I've been on the run ever since.